Hi, welcome to Professor Kev Show. As you can see, I got my friends with KinetiKick with us today. Good evening. Welcome to the show.
Hi, good evening. The three of us are friends and high school seniors. I'm Mahair. I love technology. I love playing tennis, and sometimes I enjoy reading. And the three of us came up with KinetiKick a few months ago.
All right. All right, Envy, tell me a little bit about yourself. Mhm.
That was me.
Yep, yep.
Okay, so I'm Avni Gandhi, and like Meher said, we're 12th grade students, we're high school seniors, and I about myself, I love music. That's one of the things that actually led me to um figuring out some of the stuff about kinetic. And yeah, that's mostly it.
I would ask you what type of music you like, but I never know who the people are. So it's just kind of the running joke. So I'm like, I'm not cool enough to know who that is and stuff. I have a son. Your turn, my friend.
Yeah, yeah. My name's Prasan. As they both said, we're all really close friends. I also like Meher play tennis. And I love watching football, love watching tennis. I actually also have a podcast of my own that I recently started, like around 2 months back. So yeah.
Awesome. So welcome everyone to the show. So tell me why you all started this idea. What opportunity did you see that you wanted to solve?
Okay.
Okay, so I
Yeah. Avni is gonna start. She has a really cool story.
All
So,
right.
like I said, I like music, and I think that's one thing that bonds the three of us together as well. We became really good friends because of our interest in music. And so, what happened basically was that the three of us went to a concert together, specifically a Coldplay concert, and that was last year. And a very important aspect of Coldplay concerts is that they're known for using sustainable energy in a lot of their concert aspects. And what they were using in one of their concerts was piezoelectricity, which is basically a floor where people were jumping, dancing, and that kinetic energy from their dancing and their movement was being harnessed and was being used to generate electricity. And that was the first time we like noticed this kind of technology being used, and we thought, since India is such a big population, such a big country with so many people, the largest population in the world, why should we um, not use a sustainable solution to um, to solve all the energy problems in the country right now, and use the country's biggest weakness, which is of course its population, large population, and turn it into its biggest advantage and make electricity from those footsteps of all the people.
We
So
basically
tell me about how you're accomplishing this, because it is a really cool idea and stuff. Tell me about some of the challenges, some of the successes you've had so far working on this idea.
I mean, we knew that we wanted to help our community first and foremost. And we knew that by doing this, we had to first make sure that the people who were helping us build this were in our community, right? So we first started with an initial prototype, and we used all of the electrical supplies and the material from local shops in New Delhi to help them out, like to help small businesses out. And that was when it first started. So far we've made three prototypes of the kinetic kick tile. So if you step on it, it generates electricity. And we won quite a few competitions so far. I think Prasan can tell you about the main one that we won a while ago.
So
Sounds
two
amazing. This follow-up question. How hard was it to make the tile? I mean, because I'm not like handy like that at all, so I'm kind of fascinated when people come up with stuff like that. Was it hard to
yeah,
make it?
I think Avni can take that one. She's the one who mainly did all the prototyping actually.
She's the physics person behind this entire project.
All right, so it's your turn. How hard was
Yeah,
it to make it?
it took a lot of work and a lot of research, definitely, but more than hard, I think it was fun. It was
Mhm.
a lot of figuring it out as I went, and I tried a lot of things that didn't work, and then I had to I made like at least 3-4 different prototypes, and before I landed on the one that I ended up using for the IIT Kharagpur competition.
All right, so bring me into the room when it actually worked. Because to me, I'm fascinated by, like I said, the trial and error. That one didn't work. It's not what I really wanted. But when you got to it and you're like, oh my God, this works. Tell me about that experience. That had to be, you must have had a lot of kinetic energy going through you when that happened, right?
It was amazing. It was really amazing because Prasan and I are not that interested in physics. So just watching Avni do all of it by herself and like working really hard on various prototypes, it was amazing. And then when she finally joined a few wires together, we don't even know what was happening back then. But when she finally figured it out, and then she's like, okay, switch off the lights, I'll walk on it and you will see what happens. And then she actually kept her feet on like two different areas of the tile, and it lit up the letters V and V, which stand for our school. So it was amazing to watch that actually happen, and we have a whole video of like Avni stepping and jumping on it and like all of it just being lit up.
That is kind of amazing. So tell me about how you're going to scale this so that you can help the population in India. Are you going to make this yourself? Are you going to outsource to production? How are you going to do it?
Uh, uh, right. So currently we are in so we do want to take this to the next level. So we are in talks with couple of tile manufacturers and other factories who produce some of these, chemicals and the materials we want to use in our tiles. So I think I think it does require more research and development to fully optimize the tile. And
Mhm.
we are doing that as we move on, as we participate in more competitions, fellowships, whatever it may be. So I think once we have a proper final prototype laid out, I think I don't think it's going to be that tough anymore, but definitely to reach that final prototype is going to be a task in itself, because there's just so much going on, from at least from what Avni has told us and what we've seen clearly, to build just such like the prototype we have right now. It took such a long time and so many hours and so much hard work. So I think initially, yeah, it's going to be a task, but once we figure it out, I think, everything will fall into place.
So tell me
And
about going to the competitions. Are people as excited about your idea as I am? Because I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's really cool. It has to be neat to show it to someone and have them go, wow, what's been the experience?
we've taken part in
So
multiple competitions, and I feel like no one talks about this, but everyone just like shares what they won. So we like to say that we've like lost quite a few as well, but the ones that we won have made this entire journey just worth it, and made us realize that we're here for each other and like we always have each other's back. So I think Prasan will tell you about the Young Innovators program at IIT Kharagpur.
Yeah, good.
yeah. Right. So it was an online submission at first among, I think there were 4,500 people
Wow.
from um like all across India, and from, I'm pretty sure, Dubai, Singapore, so a couple of other countries as well. And we actually submitted it 3 minutes before the deadline, so we didn't know what we were doing. And to be very honest, we didn't expect much either, and we had a very basic prototype before we got selected. So we got selected and it was really, really cool. Then we only had 10 days to prepare the prototype. We didn't even have a proper website. So me and Mahair worked on the website while Avni worked on the prototype, and then we all sat together, made the pitch deck, and then we went there to IIT. It was surreal because it's the biggest IIT campus in the whole country. So we got there, and the first round, it was basically like a showcase, and we were so overwhelmed because so many people had these big giant robots and stuff to do with space and delivery, like food delivery to the army and stuff like that. And we had this little tile with us, and this thing was at like 10 a.m. in the morning. So, and we had like two little LED strips, so you could barely even see them glowing. So we were so scared. And the judges, like, except one, all the judges were like, they it didn't seem like they cared. They were on their phones. So we were really like we were not confident at all. But then again, we got through somehow. I don't know how, and all were like out of our minds, and we kept on saying. At least I kept on saying, it's been a good experience. It's been a good experience, no matter what happens. And then we stayed up the next night till 4 a.m., like 3 a.m., completing and like our pitch deck again. And actually, our prototype had broken, and then we didn't have a soldering gun, so we all were really stressed out. And then I don't know how, but somehow Avni again, she figured it out. And next day on stage, even though we weren't able to complete our complete presentation because we were short of time. Again, no expectations, because obviously when you don't complete your um presentation, what expectations do you have? But then again, we were so surprised when we came third. And then we put it into perspective that third out of 4,500 people is like crazy. And we also got a small prize of 5,000 rupees. And yeah, it was just overall a great experience. And I think Meher and Avni will tell you about the next big thing we want.
All right, I'm ready. What's the next big thing?
So, recently, me and Meher, since Prasan wasn't able to participate in this because it was by the Girl Up Foundation, which is founded by the UN. Um, More specifically, Girl Up India organized a competition called Girl Tank, which is basically like Shark Tank, but like for like
Or
young
younger girls.
girls who are interested in STEM and other things. And um, the cash prize offered, I think like $1,000.
$1,000.
That was what was at stake. And I mean, we just like gave our names again, like we did for IIT
For
Kharagpur.
fun. Like we just yeah, like we just had to
Didn't
take
expect
part. We
anything.
came across it exactly. And when we got an email back saying that we were selected for round two, we were just like, okay, we'll just give our best, but no expectations, because getting $1,000 is like not an easy task, and it's not something that's just, pretty simple. And then when our name was finally announced, and top four projects, we were one of the top four projects, which we're actually getting that grant from the Girl Up Campaign Foundation in the United States.
Congratulations. That's amazing. So, how do people reach out to you to learn more about this idea?
Would you guys like to go first? Or
So, even at IIT Kharagpur, actually, since it's a campus that's filled with like professors and students who are pursuing engineering, pursuing technology, and are really serious about this kind of stuff, it was so it felt so good to be like seen, and they were like in awe of what we were doing basically. And it was almost like awe inspiring the way that these people who had been working for so long in this field, in engineering and in physics and all of this technological stuff, were thinking that our idea, just like by a bunch of 16-year-olds, was like actually a good thing. And
Mhm.
it was just like, it was really surprising. So some professors actually reached out to us after the competition as well and told us that they're also researching similar things, researching piezoelectricity, and that we could get in touch with them if we wanted to learn more about it. And our school teachers are also actually helping us coordinate with a few university professors to help us research more into this idea.
Awesome.
So I think I'll add some more things to that. So, um, in the beginning of this year, Avni and I went to Bangalore for another competition, which didn't turn out so well. I mean, we made it through to the final round, but there was some problems. But Meher couldn't come, and but yeah. So um, over there, I was living with one of my dad's friends in Bangalore. So and he had some architects and lawyers over at his house. And when I told them about what we were doing, they asked me why I was here, because that was the first time they met me. So they were really, really fascinated by this idea. And they were like, you guys are just 16 and you're doing all this. This is really cool. And um so I'm still in touch with both of them. So they keep on telling me, I mean, at least the one who's an architect, that whenever, you have a scalable model, a proper prototype, please reach out to me. I would love to at least do a pilot with this project. So that I think that was really cool for us to see that people actually have, faith in us and faith in our idea.
So I'm going to argue that that competition was a huge success because if you weren't there, you wouldn't have met that person. I think that's going to be more valuable in the end than, with no disrespect to the competition, but that one person may change this whole game for you. So I'm gonna look at it from that perspective. So, all right, man, what's your last spin? What else do you want to tell us?
Um, Nothing in general. I just want to say that it's great, like us as the team, we've been through this journey for like a very long time now, and we're really good friends. And of course, even we have fights and we also disagree over multiple things. But I know at the end of the day, both Avni and Prasan have my back and I have theirs. And the reason I believe we're doing so well at competitions and in general with this entire project is because the three of us like actually specialize. Like Prasan mainly built like an entire website and he's very good with like handling our social media. And Avni's responsibility is like the physics bit and like the prototype bit. And my responsibility is also social media, but also like the business aspect, the pitch decks, the marketing strategy, all of that. So I think the reason that I think though we work so well together and that's why we've come so far.
I agree with you
Guys,
100%. I've seen teams where they have three really amazing engineers, but they don't have the business side of it. No one knows how to put together a pitch deck. No one knows how to build a website. So I agree that the fact that you all have specialized skills that you're really good at is what's making the team go. So I appreciate the three of you taking some time to come on my podcast. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
thank you. Thank you so much.